Hi there. Yes, it's the 20th of December 2021. And this is also my way of explaining and apologizing for the slowdown of communication and the businesses, the correspondence. It was not a business as usual for the whole of last week. Um, First off, diba, I just realized that a lot of things right now, everything is hinged upon my good health. Um, Everything in order to progress, a way forward, will need the key player, that's yours truly, to be on top shape. Diba? The fitness, it's not so much as the, for formality's sake, but because of the practicality in making decisions, in the in the settlements that have to be that has to be signed on. I must have thought, ano man tawag mo doon, yung talagang walang dinadamdam na sakit, diba? So, kung may sipon, may ubo, sipon, clogged nose, I cannot, I dare not tackle critical decision making, pending on my table. So, in the same way, we also had major domestic adjustments because eto nga yung ano ko ngayon, diba? Ito yung I want to share these graphics to you guys. Years ago, iba ang domestic challenges namin, iba ang situation at home, wherein kailangan ng tuition fee or merong boy-girl relationship problem sila. But now that they have, say for they have a family of their own, so we're going through the growing pains. We need to give each other a room to grow and to make decisions and allow for the mistakes because it's a learning curve. Diba? Nobody is born to know everything, to have that wisdom upon birth. We all need to be guided sometimes, and sometimes there's no better teachers than an experience and suffering loss, diba? So parang discard, diba? Ang hirap-hirap. When is it time to let go? When is it time to watch from the sideline and make a family member learn from his or her mistakes, diba? So it as a parent, it doesn't come naturally for me as well. So it's also a learning curve for me. So in previous times, they were not like JM. JM is not a grown-up JM 10 years ago. Lee is not a career, a professional years 10 years ago, diba? Same with me. May used to be a single person who is not a mother. So everything talaga is learning curve. And the domestic things, domestic adjustments that we're going through, it's one of our common denominators with you out there, with our fellow workers, with our associates. It allows us to understand your situation kasi kami meron din kaming ganyan na situation. But right now, ang Hinalight ko lang to because it now boils down to the specifics. Kumbaga dati, motherhood statement, papayuhan natin ang ating kapamilya, baka siya ay nakakalimot, di ba? Or sometimes like, uy, nasaktan mo ang damdamin ko nung nagsabi ka ng ganyan. So, may mga gano'n na instances, di ba, na kung saan we learn by doing. We don't stop being a family just because something had hurt us, like nakapagsalita ng hindi maayos, hindi nakapagbayad on time, aminin. Yung dati na pangako, ay bakit ka nangako tapos hindi mo susundin, and then last minute something changed, diba? So yun yung mga usual causes why sometimes there are quarrels within the family. I bring this up now because the specifics. JM used to work sa Zydus, sa pharmaceuticals. And Jacqueline is working in Hyundai. And Joanna May currently is a full-time mother and housewife. And so everyone is taxpayer. So dun pa lang, makikita na yung relationship. Sino ang magiging tax exemption ng sino, di ba, ng kapamilya. So, hindi may iwasan ngayon na what's personal and what's business and what's to comply with regulators, nagmi-mix up siya, di ba? So, dumating kami sa point na gano'n. Like, sa taxes ni JM, like sa PhilHealth ni JM before the universal healthcare, sino ang nakakarga para magamit ang PhilHealth? That's insurance here in the Philippines. Like in a health card, because some companies have that benefit for their employees. So while JM was working at Zydus, meron siyang health card and may extension siya, supplementary coverage. So either ako or ang papa niya. So sa taxes na binabayaran, paano nagiging exemption, di ba? Paano, like when they were growing up, I was the de facto parent, solo parent in attendance. So if I will have a violation in my tax payments, it will be on failure to notify and update that I was a solo parent in attendance, and that the exceptions would be my three students, my daughters who were students back then, lahat nag-aaral. And so whatever income I would have would go towards either paying the promissory note or making new ones, diba? And right now, ito yung I have this clip because when it comes to their mother and they will be asked, saan kumukuha ng income or source of income ang mother nyo? That is the formal question that we have encountered and we are still encountering to this day. First off, the cost of living. I have 3 daughters who are diba, earning a living and they are taxpayers. And so, who is their mother? So if they will be described, if they will be asked to describe who their mother is and where she gets her cost of living in order to sustain, di ba, life maintenance, ayan na, nagkaroon na po ng iba-ibang version and narratives. And at this point in time, there can be no other alternate reality, alternate narrative to where I get my budget for food, where I get, is there a budget for medicines, and for caregiving, kailangan ba ng caregiving? And so we have come to a point in time in our existence which we have not yet encountered in times past. So dumating yung time that each of us, our words are good, but there must be certain documentary evidence in support of each of our narrative. And dyan na po papasok yung responsibility ng firstborn, ng middle child, ng youngest, and for someone who owns a company, who has a pending matters being deliberated on at our RDO, Revenue District Office. So na we weed away ang, that will not hold water. Those narratives, those controversies na talagang walang basehan sa katotohanan. Hindi siya makatotohanan, hindi siya tunay at hindi siya totoo. But just because of the personality that I have, what comes with the territory, of course, they are, the wrong information, false news. But you know what? Totoo pala yun. Dumarating sa point, it's so hard to sustain falsehood. It will be at some point in time in our life, in this business called life, there will come a time that an alternate reality, a wrong information will be impossible to maintain. There is no moving forward for this because right now, we have come to the point wherein anything that JM will say, anything that Lee will say, and also May, will be binding towards their own legal position. So we have to talk amongst us. And even though they are keeping their distance and giving me a wide berth in order to do my thing, because I am just coming out from the bunker. And I will have to provide the documentary basis for how videos such as this had been monetized into being a source of income for yours truly. So the path forward for us is not to live in denial, but to actually tackle the hard topics that we had avoided in the past. So right now, at this time, even though si JM, si Lee, si May, they may ignore the different people who make up our company, who make up our organization. At some point in time, they will not be able to ignore them or to pretend that they do not exist because of the regulation, because of compliance, diba? The citizenship is, there's a responsibility and there's a privilege that goes with it, diba? And it's for me. I as a parent, I have to set the tone and kumbaga, how do we the impressions as they were growing up. The things that they have heard about me while they were growing up, while they were in that impressionable age. Diba? O, ang mama mo ganito, ganyan. O, ang mama mo ganyan, ganyan. And then, when they finally became adults themselves, and now they are making decisions, taking into considerations the things that we cannot wish away, the things, the realities that sometimes nung bata tayo, we can be forgiven and we can be allowed to ignore, we can be given free pass. But right now, at this time, parang hindi na pwede, diba? And at this time, the source of income will not be from motherhood statements, but will have a definite amount with the centavos with the dates and with the documentary evidence. So with this, like rental payment, the Sisters Project is shared by the three of them, diba? Si JM, si Ed, si May. So, meron silang binabayaran. Merong bottom line. Ako din, meron din akong bottom line because I need to pay my obligations to those who are working alongside me, diba? And kung ano man po ang sabi nga ni Lee, di ba, abangan ang susunod na kabanata, anong mangyayari? Now that some controversies have naturally faded away from being considered as possibly an explanation for how things are right now. Naturally, di ba, parang ang natitira na lang talaga are the things that can hold water, that can withstand scrutiny. The things, ang natitira na lang po sa personal information namin at this time, hindi na po yung drama, hindi na po yung, kumbaga, ang sabi ni ganito, ang sabi ni ganyan, ang sabi ni ganon. Kasi meron na pong mga usapan na hindi papayagan na salita lang at this time. And with that, I just want to say that, so, diba, ang hirap. So, when, just last week, I had a plugged nose. So, and then I had to help out my daughter because she's lipat bahay. They're moving, they're relocating. So, madaming domestic concerns na nangyayari, plus the fact nga that we are reconciling our past statements into what is here and now. I truly can't help but rely on God's promise that He causes all things to work together for good, for those who love Him and have been called for His purpose. Because without it, parang, oh my gosh, baka kung saan-saan na pumunta yung usapan, hindi na alam kung alin ang totoo, kung bakit dumating sa point na ganyan. So, most, sinimulan na namin ang paghihimay. The past, di ba sabi mo ganyan dati? O di ba ganyan-ganyan? So, there's always the possibility that we may have differences of opinion, but it's not a possibility and it's not a probability, but it's the fact that at the end of the day, after each contentious issue, we must move forward as a family. So, we may argue bitterly, especially when it comes to money matters. Dahil lahat kami, ito diba, parang hindi na kasi siya appropriate. Yan. Nung maliit pa sila, parang pwedeng somebody gets the lion's share of the responsibility. But with the way things are now, each of us has bills to pay, family to take care of, future to think of, diba? And each of us has a goal, life dreams to fulfill, and ideas how to get there. We can be open for suggestions or pwedeng criticisms at your own risk. But it will be so hard to listen indiscriminately to something that will sow confusion and legal problems along the way. So right now, 5 days before Christmas, just like you, kagaya rin po ninyo, kami rin po ay abala sa mga usapang pampamilya, usapang pera, at usapang negosyo, at usapang para sa 2022, how we are going to share the burden, just like any ordinary family. So this is yours truly, Clarice, and now I have to go back to work.